Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today for our collective energy reading. Let's see where we will be guided to today. Where are we being guided to? Ooh, did you see that? Nine of Wands. I'm going to take it in the upright because it kind of ricocheted off of me. Nine of Wands. This could be a time where we need some self-care. It seems like you're at nearing the end of a journey, nearing the end of a chapter, nearing the end of a timeline. And it's been one where I feel like you've learned a lot, but it may have taken a toll on you energetically. You may need some rest. You may need some rejuvenation, because I feel when I see the Nine of Wands that it's a time where we may be starting to actually feel like we can't keep going. And it's not because we can't keep going. It's because we're out of energy. We're tired. We need to rest. We need to reflect. This reminds me of really needing to sort of take time to process what you have experienced. Needing to take time to process the journey so far, because coming up is going to be a new journey very soon. This 9 tells me that you're nearing the end of a cycle. You're nearing the end of a chapter, journey, cycle, experience. And we saw in yesterday's reading that there was this feeling of like, I've outgrown something. I've outgrown things that are very familiar in my day-to-day with that Knight of Pentacles from yesterday. So that makes me think that we're sort of continuing the story today with this Nine of Wands. And the focus may be on needing some self-care in whatever form that takes. Perhaps you need to have a reflection day where you just simply reflect and process and recover, you know? Ooh, that's way too many. Let's put those back. We'll see if any of those come back out. We're looking for 1 or 2 cards to help us understand this Nine of Wands within a context. Thank you. The World. Yeah. You've definitely wrapped up a cycle. You're definitely at the time where, you know, this Nine of Wands is almost feeling kind of like the Hermit. You sort of need some time to process and to take care, to nurture the self again, because you've just wrapped up a massive cycle here. There's the World card confirming it. You are ready to begin again once you've had time to rest, recover, recharge, refuel, get back into balance with giving and receiving. We see the Six of Pentacles here on the bottom of the deck. So needing to get back into balance and sort of to incorporate the wisdom of the chapter you've just sort of about to close out or have closed out, or you might even just be feeling that some things are wrapping up. Let's see. Ooh. There's the Nine of Cups, which is lovely. So I really feel like your inner fulfillment, your sense of emotional satisfaction is present here. We've got 2 9s. You're definitely wrapping something up, my friends, and you don't see the depths of it yet. This Moon card is telling me that there's a lot of unseen energy moving around, making adjustments, responding to your new vibration. There's something happening here that's responding to this chapter that you've closed here. And I feel like right now, this is the time to focus on, you know, where you see your emotional fulfillment taking you, as opposed to focusing on how exhausted you might be. Because seeing this Nine of Cups and this Nine of Wands makes me feel like as you wrap up this chapter that we see in the World card, you may be sensing a lot of unseen energy, right? You might be sensing it intuitively and not really understanding the full picture because it hasn't been revealed yet in the material world. But it definitely feels like there is a calling for you to find your own inner fulfillment, your own inner rewards. When I see that Nine of Cups, this is a time for you to focus on and to heal anything that may have extinguished or diminished your energy, right? Because I can't help but feel like this chapter wrapped up with this Nine of Wands, with you feeling kind of defeated or depleted or diminished by something in the external world. And that within you, we need to bring in this Nine of Cups, this sense of balance, peace, emotional harmony. You know, the Nine of Cups is to me a time where not only is it very prosperous with respect to manifestation and bringing in alignment, but it also speaks to me in the sense of what's happening on the internal right now. When I see a world card here with the moon, I mean, things are shifting in a way that you can't see yet, but you certainly feel it. You certainly feel it. Let's pull the rest of the cards to get the rest of the story. Ooh, that fell on the ground. Oh, it's the Wheel of Fortune. Let me grab it. The Wheel of Fortune. So things are moving in the right direction. You're on the right path. Again, I know it's unseen. It's energetic right now. You feel it. You feel it, but you might be sort of trusting what you see instead of what you feel right now. And I think what you see right now is things wrapping up, things finalizing. It's almost like the dust is settling here because you've had this big movement, this big chapter. And now as the dust settles, you're starting to sort of look around with these new eyes. And, you know, it's interesting, isn't it? Things are shifting. You've done a lot of work. I see the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. I feel like you put in a lot of work in this past chapter, and that's why we need some self-care. So it is Friday after all. So perhaps you need, well, it's Friday as I'm recording this. Whenever you see this is when you need to hear this message. But perhaps you need to take the next few days for yourself. How can you recharge yourself? Perhaps this last chapter, there was some cords that were cut. Perhaps there was some energy that felt like it was draining you. I can't help but sense this feeling that you need to recharge, maybe by whatever means recharges you. But certainly I feel the guidance of sending you out into nature, maybe doing some reflecting, some time on your own, you know, to understand and to heal and to let this chapter close, you know, to sort of peacefully let this chapter close, right? Now, I don't know which ones came out upright or reverse. I sort of picked them up funny. But we see here the Six of Wands, which is lovely. Again, another beautiful message of sort of being victorious and being recognized. So this makes me feel like you're being guided to go where you're recognized. Again, I can't help but think that this last chapter you're just closing up now may have involved situations that made you feel unseen and diminished, and then sort of having to struggle with internalizing that and finding that it's not a fit. And that may have shown you that it's time to close out certain relationships, patterns, you know, ways of limited thinking about yourself in response to what's happening around you in the external world. It's very interesting. Four of Wands. So again, right next to that Nine of Cups and the Six of Wands, that makes me think that you're passing through a gateway where you're going towards this sense of inner peace, where your inner peace is where, you know, you flow towards where you find inner peace. And that is your almost sovereign responsibility, right? When we're working against things all the time and constantly feeling defeated or drained, or unseen, unrecognized, you know, it's interesting. It really feels like you're looking for relationships that feel like they recognize your worth, they see you, and it promotes your spiritual growth. It doesn't take away from your spiritual growth, you know? And I feel like seeing the Nine of Wands with this Nine of Cups and now the Ten of Cups, says to me, you're moving on a pathway towards emotional fulfillment, inner peace, and it's almost like you're moving towards harmony, not anything that takes away from your harmony, takes away from your inner peace. It's trusting your intuitive instincts that guide you to see where things are in balance and where they're not in balance, where your spiritual growth is supported, where it's not supported, where you are seen, where you are not seen. That recognition of your light and versus the diminishing of your light. It really feels like you're moving towards a different priority, a different priority in relationships. When I look at all these cups, and also within yourself, your relationship within, you're definitely moving away today from things that make you feel diminished. Yes. Final card in this reading. Ooh, landing on me. The Hanged Man. Trust the process. Trust the process, my friends. It's interesting. It's really interesting to see so many major arcana here. We have the Moon, we have the World, the Hanged Man, and the Wheel of Fortune. Bottom of the deck is the Judgment card. So you know what? And this sort of, like, when I looked at it at first, it was in reverse, and then as I show it to you, it's upright. So that tells me that you're going to be receiving the karmic verdict on a lot of things, okay? And you're going to see the truth about many things, including relationships and including your own inner environment, and which environments serve you. Which environments promote your inner peace and spiritual growth, and which environments diminish you and make you feel drained. This is not a time to be sort of judging others, but to just discern where your unique path thrives and where it doesn't thrive. And I can't help but think that seeing that Nine of Wands makes me feel like the World card here, that you're wrapping up cycles that make you feel unseen and tired, that they're not recognizing you, and as a result that creates this feeling on the inside for you of a lack of recognition. And sometimes the external world is sort of a cold and unfriendly place because there's so many different unique pathways being taken by all the unique expressions. All the souls walking around are on their own journey. And as we form relationships with people, if you're not feeling like your path isn't thriving in that environment, then it's your sovereign duty to discern where you thrive and where you feel drained, defeated, and diminished. And to move yourself towards the paths that promote your inner peace and promote your spiritual growth. And I can't help but feel like seeing these cards makes me think that right now you're in a place where things are falling off. I used the analogy the other day of an iceberg, like a glacier, and having sheets of ice just falling into the ocean because they can't stay attached anymore. They're no longer in the same resonance or vibration as the iceberg, so they must fall into the ocean, going back into the energetic field. And in my mind, they will find the path where they can reattach. It's interesting. It's an interesting way of thinking about it without judgment, because there is this temptation sometimes to judge others and say, and almost have an how dare you moment, to be like, how dare you not support my spiritual growth? How dare you not see me, And that is sort of the path of the ego, sort of, it brings out the trigger, but then if you stay on that path, you end up judging, you might end up being angry, You might end up even feeling a sort of resentment, when really that experience is just showing you that you've outgrown that space. You are no longer in resonance with that space, and that's okay. There's no judgment attached to it. It's energy, right? We go where the energy feels like it's at its highest vibration, when we feel in harmony with the environment that we choose to stay in. And if you know, if you don't feel that, that's okay. It's almost like, don't judge yourself for that, and don't judge the others in the environment for that. It's all based on energy. And we go where we feel harmony, we go where we feel aligned, and we go where we feel that we are seen, and our spiritual growth is being promoted, not diminished, not deflated, not handled in a way that makes us feel diminished and deflated. It's interesting, isn't it? But this tells me that you're moving towards something that's in your best interest. You're closing out chapters that no longer serve you, that no longer resonate with you, and you're moving forward into a space and an environment where your unique energy feels seen and feels recognized, and it feels honored, right? We don't tend to feel comfortable in spaces where we feel like we're not enough. And my friends, an affirmation for you today is, I am enough even when others don't recognize my worth. And you can move, you will move as you hold that space for yourself and move towards spaces where you honor your own inner environment. You will attract others that see you and recognize you and honor you, and to promote your own spiritual growth. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this daily reading. We'll see you tomorrow, and I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends.